We're going to talk about Federalist 29. I'll just give you a synopsis of it, a short version of it, and then we will read it in the next parts. Hamilton finishes talking about the military and common defense of the nation in this Federalist. Remember, I said from 23, Federalist 23 to 29, he was going to talk about the common defense, the military and aspects of military that are looked at in this new Constitution and the shortcomings of the old Constitution. And he sounds a little frustrated because when you read the text, he's frustrated with all the people who are criticizing him criticizing Publius, Hamilton, Madison, and John Jay. Because these people are saying that you're going to take away the militia, take control of the militia away, and we won't have any way of defending ourselves in case the federal government decides to overreach and take away our freedoms. Because in this new Constitution, the control of the militia, in a way, goes to the federal government. The federal government will tell the states, okay, you can appoint the officers, you can tell who the officers are, but when we need the militia, we will use them. And another thing that the states need to do is that they have to follow the rules we set forth in training them. Because what good are these militias if every state trains them differently, and when they are called upon, when you really need them, they follow different rules, they can't work with one another, so there's no use in that. So in the new Constitution, the federal government says the state authorities can appoint, name the militia leaders, the officers, but the training is done, or the rules for training is set by the federal government. And he goes back and forth with his critics, and he shows that he's frustrated because he says they're coming up, they're making up stuff, and they're saying that we are going to be using these militias to crush the states, to crush the state governments, to take away people's freedoms. And he says there is no such a thing, because at one point he even says the people who are criticizing us are saying that we will take the militia of Georgia all the way across the country to tyrannize people of Massachusetts, or vice versa. We will get people from Pennsylvania, militia of Pennsylvania, to go all the way, or New York, to go all the way to the southern part of the country and tyrannize that, because they say, well, we're not from Georgia, so we can use force if the federal government wants. So he says this is not going to happen. He says American people are not going to leave their land, their farms, their families, and go 500, 600 miles away to participate in harassing people, taking away their freedoms. And when I say 500 to 600 miles away, just keep in mind, I'm talking weeks of marching and walking. It's not like getting on a plane or a train and going there. You're talking about the time that you either could walk, you could ride on a horse, or be on a cart that was attached to a horse or a mule. So we're talking difficult terrain, difficult land to go across. So people are not going to leave their farms and their family to go 500 miles away to take away other people's freedoms. So he says this is not in the character of the United States people, or the people of America. We're not there yet. It's not United States yet. And now the people who were criticizing the anti-federalists, they were right in pointing out certain things, because culturally back then, a lot of times people in the States were taught that serving in the militia, training and serving in the militia of a state is an honor, because you become a citizen soldier. You're a citizen, and in time of emergency, you go pick up your gun, you defend your country, you defend your freedom, and when it's all done, you go back to your land, to your family, and do what you were doing. You're not constantly, you're not a paid-for military force. You're not a professional army person, because back then they looked at them a little differently. Like they looked at a professional military like the Redcoats that the British had landed in America to crush the American Revolution. So keep that in mind. There is that cultural aspect of it. So we'll read this in the next few videos. Make sure you have the text right next to you as I read it. You need to pay attention to the text. And again, if you want any of these videos to make sense, any of these readings of the Federalist Papers, or if you want the Federalist Papers to make sense to you, make sure that you watch some of these videos that I recommend, some of these lectures that I recommend. And also make sure that you watch the mini-series done by PBS television. I've mentioned it before. Liberty. Watch History Channel's American Revolution, Founding Brothers. Try to watch those first, and then gradually listen to the lectures of different professors that I mentioned. And it all will make sense. Just don't get frustrated if you don't understand these papers individually by themselves. It'll all make sense once you go through all the 85 papers, and then you say, ah, I see what they're doing. At first they're saying, we can unite and be strong. Then they come and say, the Constitution that we've had, the Articles of Confederation, is not good enough. It's going to lead us into a place where we distrust each other. Foreign countries can take advantage of this distrust, sow division amongst us, divide us, and then come and take advantage of our resources, keep us weak, not let us trade with them fairly. And then when he gets done there, he says, okay, these are the confederacies in the past. Most of the confederacies in the past have had problems. And the new Constitution has looked at those problems and has given you a way out, a better way to frame a government, to establish a government with checks and balances, separation of powers, judicial independence, elections that are held at certain intervals, and all the other things that are in place for you to have a great system. Then you talk about military, the military, why you need a small professional army, why you need the militias trained by the rules set by the federal government so that they can, when they get together, they can actually work together. And as we go forward, then he's going to be talking about why the House of Representatives is going to be, members of the House of Representatives are going to be elected for 2 years, the senators for 6 years, why the judges are going to be elected, the federal judges, during good behavior. In other words, they'll have a job for a lifetime. This way they won't be influenced by the politics that's going on around them. and how to nominate these judges, how to remove them if they break a law, and things like that. So this whole thing will come together and you will understand the Constitution and the concept of federalism much better. So don't give up, even if it's difficult at first. I promise you, if you listen to the lectures and watch the lectures that I mention and follow along, gradually it'll all make sense.